All right, so today we're going to do a deep dive into this pretty cool new thing, AI-generated podcasts.
Yeah.
Specifically, this new feature called GenFM from ElevenLabs. I think it's going to be super interesting for you. You know, learning efficiently without sacrificing depth. We're using their website and a TechCrunch article as our sources today.
Yeah.
And I'm already seeing some pretty crazy stuff. AI co-host support for a ton of different languages. And even, get this, the intentional addition of ums and ahs to make these podcasts sound more human.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. It's almost as though ElevenLabs is really trying to mimic all the nuances of a real conversation. But what I find really interesting is why they're doing this. You know, they've observed that a lot of the podcasts that are really popular, they prioritize like smooth, natural conversation over perfectly polished speech. Adding in those little imperfections actually helps make the AI sound more engaging.
And relatable.
It's just
Pretty clever strategy when you think about it. Yeah, for sure. So, okay, let's unpack this GenFM thing a little bit. From what I'm seeing, it's a new feature on their 11 Reader app. Available on iOS, right?
Right. You can upload all kinds of content, articles, PDFs, even YouTube videos, and then GenFM will analyze it and create a podcast version for you. And get this, it even picks 2 AI voices to present the information. So it's like having a personalized audio show with your own AI co-hosts.
Wow. So you're telling me I can take like this dense research paper I've been putting off reading?
Yeah.
And turn it into a podcast. That's a game changer.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not just for vain, like dense research papers. Think about all the ways you could use this, catching up on the news in different fields, getting a quick overview of a book before you commit to reading it, or even creating audio versions of study notes with explanations.
So it's not just about entertainment. It's a learning tool as well.
You're right.
I'm seeing here that they support a whopping 32 languages, from English and Spanish to Hindi and Chinese.
That's right. And the tech behind this multi-language support is pretty impressive. We're talking about more than just basic translation here. ElevenLabs has actually developed AI voices that can speak these languages with all the nuances of a native speaker.
Wow. So are they creating
Yeah.
unique AI voices for each language? What kind of technology even goes into something like that?
Well, it's all powered by sophisticated machine learning algorithms trained on massive data sets of spoken language they analyze, like unique phonetic patterns and intonations of each language, allowing them to create AI voices that sound remarkably natural.
It's amazing to think about the complexity involved in making these AI voices sound so human. It makes you wonder, like, what are the limitations? Is there anything these voices can't do?
That's a great question. While the technology is constantly evolving, there are definitely still some challenges. For example, capturing the subtle emotional inflections of human speech. That's a difficult task for AI. And replicating the natural flow of a conversation with all its pauses, interruptions, back and forth exchanges can be tricky.
So, even though these AI voices are incredibly sophisticated, there's still this gap between and real human interaction.
Exactly. And that's where things get really interesting. Remember those ums and ahs we were talking about earlier? It seems like ElevenLabs is actually trying to bridge that gap by intentionally incorporating those imperfections into their AI voices.
Okay. They're adding in those little human quirks to make the listening experience more natural and engaging.
Yeah.
But why go to all that trouble? Why not just strive for perfect, polished speech from the AI?
Well, there's a few reasons. First, it creates a sense of realism. It makes the AI sound less robotic and more like a real person. And this can help listeners connect with the content on a deeper level.
It's almost like they're trying to create this illusion that you're listening to a conversation between 2 friends rather than a machine reading off a script.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. And it ties into this larger trend in AI development, where the focus is shifting from purely functional AI to AI that can actually understand and respond to human emotions.
So it's not just about AI being able to perform tasks efficiently. It's about AI being able to connect with humans on an emotional level.
Yeah.
That's pretty profound when you think about it.
Yeah, it is. And this brings us to another interesting point. The ethical considerations of creating AI that sounds and behaves so much like a human.
Now, that's a whole other conversation. We could probably do a whole deep dive just on the ethical implications of AI.
Oh, yeah, we definitely could. But for now, let's stick with GenFM, and maybe we can explore how it compares to other AI tools out there. I know you mentioned Google's NotebookLM earlier.
Yeah, I've seen some comparisons between the two
in
the TechCrunch article. But they both seem to be focused on using AI to make information more accessible. So what exactly are the key differences?
Both tools allow you to create AI-generated conversations from different sources, but Hooray!
Well, NotebookLM, it's more of a general purpose tool for summarizing information and generating insights. GenFM is specifically designed for creating podcast-like experiences. It's like NotebookLM is more about research and knowledge gathering, while GenFM is more about creating these immersive audio experiences for learning and entertainment.
Exactly. And this highlights the fact that there's this growing ecosystem of AI tools emerging, each with its own unique strength and applications. It's not just about one tool replacing another. It's about having a diverse set of tools that can be used in different ways to enhance our lives.
This is giving me a lot to think about. It's like we're on the verge of a major shift.
Yeah.
In how we create and consume content.
Absolutely. And ElevenLabs is clearly positioning themselves as a leader in this space. They've been making some significant moves recently, investing heavily in a Polish startup ecosystem.
And expanding their operations in India?
I'm seeing that they just invested $11 million in Poland and are opening a new R&D center in Warsaw. And they're also building a team in India. It's like they're on a mission to become
a global powerhouse
in AI audio technology. They certainly are. And it'll be fascinating to see how their global expansion impacts the development and adoption of AI audio tools like GenFM.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It seems like ElevenLabs has a pretty ambitious vision
for the future of audio.
Their expansion into these new markets, and they're focused on developing cutting-edge AI technology. So it suggests that they're playing the long game here.
Absolutely. But let's shift gears for a moment and talk about the potential impact of GenFM on the podcasting landscape, do you think? There's a risk that these AI-generated podcasts could eventually replace human-hosted shows.
It's an important one to consider.
Yeah.
While I think AI-generated podcasts definitely have the potential to become incredibly popular.
Especially for specific niches, like educational content or niche news summaries. I don't believe they'll completely replace human-hosted shows.
I'm curious why not. I mean, the tech is getting so good. What's stopping AI from taking over completely?
Well, think about what makes a great podcast. It's not just about the information being presented. It's about the personality of the host, the chemistry between them, their unique perspectives, and their ability to connect with their audience on an emotional level.
Right. It's that human element that really draws people in, the shared laughter, the off-the-cuff remarks, those moments of genuine connection. You can't replicate that with AI.
Exactly. And let's not forget the creativity and skill that goes into producing a high-quality podcast. The research, the writing, the editing, the sound design, all these things require human expertise and artistry. AI can certainly assist with some of these tasks, but it can't replace the human touch entirely.
So maybe instead of viewing AI as a threat, we should see it as this powerful tool that can actually enhance what human creators are already doing.
I think that's the best way to look at it. AI can help automate certain tasks, freeing up human hosts to focus on what they do best, crafting compelling narratives, engaging in thought-provoking discussions, and building communities around their content.
This makes me think about the comparison we were making earlier between GenFM and NotebookLM. They both use AI to process information, but they seem to be aimed at different outcomes. NotebookLM is more about research and knowledge gathering, while GenFM focuses on creating these immersive podcast-like experiences.
Precisely. And I think that distinction highlights the diversity of AI applications we're seeing emerge. AI isn't just this one monolithic thing. It's a collection of tools and technologies that can be used in a variety of ways to augment human capabilities.
It's almost like AI is becoming a collaborator in the creative process, pushing the boundaries of what's possible and challenging us to think differently about how we approach content creation.
Yeah, I love that analogy. And it's not just about content creation. Think about the potential impact of AI on accessibility. Tools like GenFM could be revolutionary for people with visual impairments, allowing them to access information and enjoy audio content in ways that were previously impossible.
That's a really important point. AI has the potential to make information and entertainment more accessible to a wider audience, breaking down barriers and creating a more inclusive world.
Let's not forget about the educational possibilities. Imagine using AI to create personalized learning experiences, tailoring content to individual needs, and learning styles students could have access to. AI tutors that can answer questions, explain concepts, and provide feedback in real time.
It's get excited to think about the positive impact AI could have on education. It could truly democratize learning, making quality education more accessible and affordable for everyone.
Absolutely. But of course, with any new technology, there are also potential downsides and
Yeah.
ethical considerations that we need to be mindful of.
You're right. We can't just blindly embrace AI without considering the potential risks and challenges. So what are some of the ethical concerns that come to mind when you think about AI-generated content?
Well, one concern is the potential for bias. AI algorithms are trained on massive data sets, and if those data sets contain biases, the AI will reflect those biases in its output. This could lead to the perpetuation of harmful stereotypes or the spread of misinformation.
That's a valid concern. We need to ensure that the AI tools we're developing are fair, unbiased, and accountable.
Another concern is the potential for job displacement. As AI becomes more sophisticated, it's possible that it could automate tasks currently performed by humans, leading to job losses in certain industries.
So it's crucial that we think about the societal impact of AI and develop strategies to mitigate potential negative consequences, such as investing in retraining programs for workers whose jobs may be affected.
By automation.
Exactly. And we need to have open and honest conversations about the ethical implications of AI involving experts from various fields, policymakers, and the public at large.
It's clear that the rise of AI is raising a lot of complex questions, but it's also presenting us with incredible opportunities. It's going to be fascinating to see how this all unfolds in the years to come. Absolutely. And as we delve deeper into the world of AI audio, I think it's important to remember that technology is ultimately a tool. It's up to us as humans to decide how we use it and to ensure that it serves our best interests.
Yeah, it really feels like we're standing at the edge of this vast uncharted territory, and we're only just starting to explore its potential. And with ElevenLabs pushing the boundaries with these tools like GenFM, it feels like the pace of innovation is only going to accelerate.
Totally. I completely agree. And the implications of this technology extend far beyond just podcasting or content creation. It has the potential to reshape how we interact with information, how we learn, and even how we communicate with each other.
Yeah. And we've talked about some of the potential benefits like increased accessibility and personalized learning experiences. But what about the potential downsides? What are some of the challenges we might face as AI audio technology becomes more sophisticated?
I think one of the biggest challenges will be navigating the ethical considerations. As AI voices become increasingly indistinguishable from human voices, it really raises questions about authenticity, transparency, and even deception.
Right. It's like we're entering this world where we might not always be able to tell if we're listening to a real person or a machine, which is fascinating and a little unsettling.
It is, and it raises questions about how we verify information, how we build trust, and how we ensure accountability in a world where the lines between human and artificial are becoming increasingly blurred.
So it's not just about the technology itself, it's about how we adapt as a society to these rapid advancements and how we develop ethical frameworks to guide the responsible development and use of AI.
Absolutely. We need to be having these conversations now while the technology is still relatively new so that we can shape its trajectory in a way that benefits humanity as a whole.
It's a big responsibility, but it's also an incredible opportunity. We have the chance to shape the future of this technology and to ensure that it's used for good.
And that brings us back to ElevenLabs and their mission to make information universally accessible. Their focus on developing AI voices in multiple languages is a great example of how this technology can be used to break down barriers and connect people across cultures.
It's a reminder that despite all the potential challenges, there's a lot of good that can come from AI if we approach it thoughtfully and with a focus on human values.
Exactly, and that's what makes this whole field so fascinating. It's not just about the technology itself, it's about the human stories behind it, the motivations of the creators, and the potential impact on society as a whole.
Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground today. We've gone from the nuts and bolts of GenFM's features to the broader implications of AI audio technology for the future of content creation, learning, and communication.
Yeah, we've explored the potential benefits, the potential risks, and the ethical considerations that we need to be mindful of as this technology continues to evolve.
And it's clear that this is just the beginning of the conversation. The world of AI audio is constantly changing, and we're only just starting to scratch the surface of its potential.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I'd like to leave you with a question to ponder. As AI voices become increasingly sophisticated, how will this impact our relationship with audio content and even our understanding of human communication itself?
That's a great question, and one that I'm sure we'll be revisiting in future episodes. But for now, I want to thank you, our listener, for joining us on this exploration of the exciting and sometimes daunting world of AI audio. Until next time, keep those ears open and those minds curious.